Big Bird in China was made in 1983, released here as a feature-length video cassette. It was 75 minutes long. It stars Big Bird and Barkley, and they go to China. Well, that's it for today, folks. See you later. Have a good one. Okay, just kidding. Big Bird in China was actually made for television, of course. It was made for Sesame Street, and it was broadcast during Sesame Street in little segments, little 5 to 10 minute segments, I believe. And this is 1983. And in 1983, China was still pretty close to the West. I mean, you know, of course we had Bruce Lee before that, and, you know, some select Chinese entertainment. This is, of course, before Tiananmen Square. They don't visit Tiananmen Square in here. Yeah, it was little short, little clips that showed you stuff culturally about China, about Big Bird being in China and learning about Chinese culture, and you know, and it's very culturally sensitive and it's very demonstrative of you know, the beauty of Chinese culture. Basically, like, Big Bird goes on a quest, a magical quest to find the magical phoenix, the biggest bird in China, because he's the biggest bird in the USA, so he's got to go meet the Chinese equivalent. He gets this map from some lady in Chinatown that has like a, you know, all these different locations and all these clues about where he's got to go to find the phoenix, and he ends up meeting the Monkey King. The Monkey King is a legendary Chinese, I don't know, demigod, the legendary character anyway, and portrayed by all different actors and stuff, because it's a thing. The Monkey King, oh, he's a thing in China, that's for sure. So Big Bird meets the Monkey King, and the Monkey King gives him all these clues about how to find the phoenix and everything like that. You know, they encounter like a little girl that happens to speak English, and they have like a little tour guide, and she shows them around China and shows them a bunch of different situations and different cultural things, like I said, like the writing, the architecture, some history, like with the Great Wall and that sort of thing, and yeah, it's just nice little snapshots of China. I don't know exactly what it was like to live there in 1983. I have a feeling this glosses that over a little bit. But it's interesting, and it, you know, it teaches you something about people on the other side of the world, you know, and how they're really not that different from us, right? I mean, what do you expect? It's Big Bird, it's Sesame Street, man. Speaking of Sesame Street, you do get some other Sesame Street characters in here, but really just kind of at the beginning and at the end. Before he even leaves, they do a big song with a whole bunch of the characters, and you get actually Jim Henson performing Ernie, of course, and Kermit the Frog is briefly in it, I think. Big Bird, performed by Carol Spinney, the performer who's portrayed Big Bird since his original first appearance. This guy is pretty good as Big Bird, I suppose. I mean, you know, he's got the Big Bird voice, and he does the Big Bird things, and he's just a big goony bird, and I don't know, as a puppet performer, I guess he's pretty good. His voice acting, I suppose, is fine. Barkley the dog is like a performer in a dog suit that just walks around on all fours, or rather runs around on all fours. And Barkley the dog, like, is all over the fucking place in this, like all over China. Yeah, I don't know, I thought the performers were really good, the Muppet performers. And as I said, you get a little bit of the other guys in there in the very beginning. And Oscar the Grouch, because he's kind of a dirtbag, asks Telly to help him. Well, he doesn't ask, he kind of forces Telly to help him dig tunnel to China. So I don't know why they put that in there, because isn't Sesame Street about learning? Well, yeah, Big Bird goes to China, he goes to find a phoenix, he meets the Monkey King, and he gets actually really pissed off at the Monkey King at one time, because, like, the Monkey King, like, jumps around, and he only speaks Chinese, so Big Bird doesn't understand him, so he gets pissed off about that, and the Monkey King can, like, teleport all over the place, and he pops up and surprises Big Bird and everything, and Big Bird gets all pissed off, and he's like, I oughta knock your block off. Ooh, I'm really scared of Big Bird. Like I said before, he meets this little girl that teaches him, you know, a couple of Chinese words and that sort of thing. But, you know, when he first meets her, he's like sitting on the curb and he's all depressed. And he's like, I can't find anyone here who speaks American. And this little girl comes up and says, I speak English. And Big Bird's like, close enough. You expect people in another country to speak your language just because you're American? Fuck you, Big Bird. Anyway, there's really nothing like controversial about it. It's just kind of something I noticed about Big Bird. Kind of makes you think. Yeah, so like the scenery that they show is really beautiful in this. I mean, they show the classic like rice paddy kind of agricultural areas of China with the rolling green hills and the spectacular scenery of the Great Wall and a lot of the Forbidden City. They even show you, well, at least a bit of the outside of the Forbidden City. It really shows you the beauty of China, and I guess that's the point of it. And it shows you this on Sesame Street. And so we're showing this to little kids. I think that's the most pure thing that you could show to little kids is like, hey, here's a bunch of people that live on the other side of the world and they do things a little differently over there. But isn't it amazing? Like that it's so different, but yet so similar. Yay! So anyway, I kind of like this. I didn't laugh at it or anything, but well, I guess I laughed at how awkward it was at some points. But it's perfectly fine. I mean, it's pretty dated and it's pretty glossy. This is like a travel brochure, really. I don't think it's meant to sell you on China. I just think that it's meant to show you, another culture. And it was a landmark event. Big Bird went to China. I mean, it's just like Mr. Spock said to Captain Kirk in Star Trek 6 when he was trying to get him to help the Klingons. He was like, only Big Bird could go to China. I think. Is that what he said? But yeah, this is masterfully made, beautifully shot, perfectly appropriate for kids, very educational. I'm going to give Big Bird in China a big old B. That's right, solid B for Big Bird. I mean, this is a little obscure, and this is a weird thing for me to watch, but I mean, who doesn't remember Sesame Street? Like, I don't even know if Sesame Street is anywhere near what it used to be back in the day. I imagine it still is, but I don't know if it has the exact widespread appeal because there's so many billions of choices of kids' entertainment out there. And how many parents are actually showing their kids Sesame Street anymore? I don't know. I hope lots. And I hope it's at least kind of what it was back in my day in the 70s. In the future, I'm going to try and have a few less really obscure things like this on my channel. Not that I regret doing these things. Just, hey, I want to get those hits, those sweet, juicy views, man. And I don't know if Big Bird and Beavis and Butthead are doing it for me. So maybe we'll actually talk about some more current movies sometime soon. Maybe not on VHS AF, but on this channel in general. So until then, have a good one, everybody.